Luca Michael, 8th grade, wide receiver, defensive back.
Luca Michael, senior, kicker. Coach Clark, senior, outside linebacker, tight end.
Nathan Klonsky, 8th grade, wide receiver, outside backer.
Nate Klonsky, senior, wide receiver, defensive back.
William Thompson, senior, wide receiver, defensive back.
Luke Conacher, senior, linebacker.
Edward DiBenedetto, senior, wide receiver, defensive back.
Brody Mahalio, senior, running back, defensive back.
Daniel Harris, 8th grader, tackle, inside linebacker.
Daniel Harris, defensive end, H-back.
Anthony Leica, 8th grade, guard, linebacker. Anthony Leica, senior, running back, linebacker.
Vinny DiCarlo-Antonio, 8th grade, wide receiver, safety.
Vinny DiCarlo-Antonio, senior, wide receiver, defensive back.
Aiden Daly, guard, linebacker.
Aiden Daly, senior, H-back, linebacker.
Tommy Moore, 8th grade, offensive guard, defensive tackle.
Tommy Moore, senior, center, nose guard.
Stephen Morcino, 8th grade, offense and defensive tackle.
Stephen Morcino, senior, tackle, defensive end.
Amin Butler, junior, safety, wide receiver. David Miller, junior, wide receiver and quarterback.
George Zaper, 7th grade, wide receiver, corner.
George Zaper, junior, defensive back, wide receiver. William Walsh, junior, defensive end, wide receiver. Josh Sawyer, junior, wide receiver, DB.
Gino DeBeasy, 7th grade, running back and outside linebacker.
And DeBeasy, linebacker, slot receiver.
Ryan Neely, 7th grader, fullback, linebacker, offensive line.
Ryan Neely, junior, linebacker, offensive line.
Prince Oliver, offensive tackle, defensive line.
Alex Oliver, junior, lineman.
Kevin Cuervo, offensive guard, defensive tackle, 7th grade.
Kevin Cuervo, junior, left tackle, nose guard, long snapper.
Noah Back, sophomore, slot back, defensive back.
Justin Hartzell, sophomore, quarterback.
Anthony Fallon, sophomore, slot back, defensive back. Matt Bell, sophomore, wide receiver, defensive back. Craig Smith, linebacker, defensive back, running back.
Matthew Galonsky, sophomore, wide receiver and defensive back.
Howard Martin, sophomore, running back, linebacker.
Tom Argentine, sophomore, outside linebacker. Austin Acuda, sophomore, offense, defensive line.
Alec Costantini, sophomore, offensive and defensive lineman.
Jordan Mall, sophomore, offensive, defensive line.
Jacob Stoll, sophomore, offensive line, defensive line.
Comerigus, freshman, tight end, defensive end.
Christian Lesnevsky, freshman, wide receiver, defensive back.
Gene Keeter, freshman, slot and outside linebacker. Ryan Manda, freshman, slot back, defensive back.
AP Simmons Jr., freshman, fullback, linebacker. Indy Marcino, freshman, offense and defensive line.
Gerard Walsh, freshman, linebacker, offensive lineman.
Alex Alenta, freshman, linebacker, O-line.
Santino Chiavetti, freshman, defensive end, wide receiver.